Islam, Shalom, Hola, Aloha, Bonjour, Osio, Assalamu Alaikum. This is your brother Zach Bay, Indigenous American Moor, coming to you live in full effect. Like, share, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell so you can be notified whenever I'm dropping new content. Leave a comment, interact with me. Thank you, I really do appreciate your viewership. Let's jump into another one. We're back at it again. Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition. Have some definitions for your dome piece. Let's jump into it. Hopefully everything is visible, clear, bright enough as you can see. All right, I want to start off right here. Treason. The offense of attempting by overt acts to overthrow the government of the state to which the offender owes allegiance, or of betraying the state into the hands of a foreign power. And let's check out Webster's definition. Treason consists of two elements: adherence to the enemy and rendering him aid and comfort. All right, so that's treason. Think about it. Has any person in office committed treason recently? Has anyone been betraying us to foreign countries, foreign powers? Israel, maybe? Even though they're supposed to be an ally? You know, a lot of the politicians, a lot of the people in office have dual citizenships. And the dual citizenship is with Israel, fam. Come on. All right, the next one. Treaty. I know I've gone over this before, but we're going to hit it again. Just a different section. All right, so international law, a compact made between two or more independent nations with a view to the public welfare. All right, let's see, small section right here. A treaty is not only a law but also a contract between two nations and must, if possible, be so construed as to give full force and effect to all its parts. All right, check it out. The Treaty of Peace. Now, hopefully you already know about the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, the longest standing treaty in the world. Let's see, Treaty of Peace, an agreement or contract made by belligerent powers in which they agree to lay down their arms and by which they stipulate the conditions of peace and regulate the manner in which it is to be restored and supported. Hopefully that makes sense to you. But we're going to continue on to trespass. All right, now we're not just talking about, you know, don't step on my lawn, no trespassing, you know, but what does it mean? What is a trespass? Doing an unlawful act or of lawful act in unlawful manner to injury of another person or property. They pretty much breaking the law, injuring someone's property, personal property, or injuring a person themselves. Let's see, an unlawful act committed with violence, actual or implied, causing injury to the person, property, or relative rights of another. All right, so damaging someone's right, depriving someone of their right, that's a trespass. An injury or misreference to the person, property, or rights of another done with force and violence, either actual or implied in law. That is a trespass, fam. Whenever someone violates you in a way, shape, or form, physically damaging your property, depriving you of rights, that is a trespass, and that's a violation. Completely unlawful. Now that goes for people working in their personal capacity and their legal capacity or their official capacities, depending on, you know, if they're a public servant or not. All right, so next I want to hit on tribal lands. I know I've gone over this before, but let's hit this again. Tribal lands, lands of Indian reservations which are not occupied by individual Indians and are unallotted or common lands of the nation. And check out this small section here. Lands allotted in severity to a restricted Indian is no longer part of the reservation, nor is it tribal land, but the virtual fee is in the allotee, which certain restrictions on the right of alienation. All right. So that's pretty much how it kind of goes into how lands were taken from indigenous people, from so-called Indians, you know, the Moors of the land. And when the lands were parted out from the tribe and broken up and given to an individual so-called Indian, those lands were no longer considered tribal lands, nor were they considered reservations. So once they broke it up and gave it to an individual, like this parcel of land is allotted to the Smith family, this next parcel of land is allotted to the Jones family. As soon as they did that, it was taken from the trust, it was taken from their natural rights, and it was pretty much incorporated. It's kind of like what it's saying here. That land was incorporated and it's no longer considered tribal land nor reservation. All right, so that's how they was taking lands from people, and then they was just giving them away to foreigners who came over here instead of giving it to the people who actually deserved it, like that 40 acres and a mule type thing. But this goes into like even before that. All right, so let's check it out. Tribute. Now, I was thinking about the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, how the longest standing treaty, and how the continental United States at its early infancy was paying tribute to the Sultan of Morocco. All right, because that's who the Treaty of Peace and Friendship was signed between the Empire of Morocco and the 13 colonies. Once they declared their independence from Britain, no one was recognizing the 13 colonies as a sovereign state or nation. People were just looking at them as a rebel faction or a rebel element of the British Empire. All right. So a lot of other nations were looking at the 13 colonies when they declared independence. They were looking at them as criminals, fam. They were like, no, we're not going to recognize you because you broke free from your master's control, or the nation that we know has had original control of these parts. All right. So Morocco was the first nation to actually recognize the United States. And then it was France. You know what I'm saying? So let's check it out. Tribute. They had to give tribute to Morocco, a contribution which is raised by a prince or sovereign from his subjects to sustain the expenses of the state. It's almost like a tax, fam. Pretty much. It's raised from a sovereign, from his subjects, like pretty much a tax. A sum of money paid by an inferior sovereign or state to a superior potentate to secure the friendship and protection of the latter. See right there. The U.S. 13 colonies were paying tribute to a superior potentate, which was the Moroccan Empire, fam. Historically. Hopefully this making sense. Hopefully the dots are connecting. All right, so I wanted to go over trophy before I end it. Didn't want to make this one too long, but just wanted to touch base with some definitions and put some info out here. Trophy, let's check it out. Anything taken from an enemy and shown or treasured up in proof of victory. A price or token of victory in any contest, hence a memento of victory or success, an ornamental group of objects hanging around on a wall, or any collection of objects, typically of some event, art, industry, or branch of knowledge, like, certificates, plaques, medals, things of that nature. A memento or memorial. All right. So like I said, a plaque, a certificate, a medal, a physical trophy. These would all be considered trophies, and trophies were originally spoils of war, fam. When you relieve your enemy of something, anything taken from an enemy and shown as treasured up. So imagine when Moors in America, the indigenous people, were fighting the oppressors, a lot of times they would take their scalps. When a scalp is taken, you grab the root, you grab someone's hair tight, and then you cut the skin and the hair from their skull from the roots, and you remove all of that skin and that hair, and it's called scalping someone. The indigenous people would do this as trophies of their victory and conquering the enemies. All right. And just like colonists would also do that to the indigenous people. They would scalp them. They would cut off ears. A lot of times they would cut off ears, noses, and put them on like necklaces. And a lot of times these trophies or these spoils could be turned in to like bounty hunters, and you will receive a fee or reward, blood money, for turning in X amount of ears from indigenous people or X amount of scalps. All right. So don't forget, a token is something that's taken from an enemy originally. It's like, spoils of war. All right. Well, that's all I have for you today in Black's Law Dictionary 4th edition. Hopefully it made sense. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Once again, this is your brother Zach Bay. Peace.